Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are unpacking something literally groundbreaking, the technical specification for AC3, which stands for the Universal Autonomous Content Protection Protocol. Look, if you create anything digitally, whether we're talking code, photography, writing, or video, you already know the absolute frustration of having your hard work lifted by scalpers. So today we're going to explore how this revolutionary zero-cost protocol acts as a relentless, locally hosted digital bodyguard for your creations. It requires absolutely no technical expertise to set up, but under the hood, it is an absolute powerhouse of decentralized technology.
We'll start right off the bat by comparing the notoriously slow, honestly broken traditional copyright system to what ACE3 brings to the table. We all know traditional copyright takes months of paperwork, it costs serious money in fees or legal retainers, and it forces you to surrender your legal identity to public databases. ACE3 completely flips this script. It's instant, it's completely free, forever. You get to remain entirely anonymous, and best of all, it's autonomous. That means it actually fights back on your behalf without you ever lifting a finger once it's running.
So here is our roadmap for the explainer today. 1. Meet AC3. 2. Zero Barrier Anonymous Identity. 3. The Universal Content Registry. 4. Automated Detection and Justice. 5. The Permanent Public Blacklist. And 6. A Decentralized Public Good. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Meet ACE3. Let's look at how the architects entirely eliminated friction so you can actually protect your work. To make this foolproof, ACE3 is built on 5 really strict tenets. First, zero barrier. A creator with absolutely zero technical knowledge can install this in under 60 seconds. No terminal commands, no API keys to fuss with. Second, anonymity is completely preserved. You don't even need an email or a phone number. Third, it's cross-substrate, meaning it works natively on Windows, macOS, mobile, and directly in your browser. Fourth, it runs on an interoperable mesh network. There's no central server that can just go offline, and no corporate owner to pull the plug. And fifth, it creates a permanent record. Your evidence of theft is anchored to public, undelatable networks for a minimum of 100 years. Time doesn't erase accountability here.
In practice, it's incredibly versatile across all your devices. The browser extension takes maybe 30 seconds to add, and it actually auto-detects when you're typing on platforms like LinkedIn or Twitter, grabbing the text before you even hit submit. The desktop app takes about 60 seconds and runs quietly in the background, automatically watching when you export a file from Photoshop or VS Code. The mobile app monitors your camera roll, and for the power users, you can spin it up in a terminal in 5 minutes for headless server operation. It just effortlessly watches your workflows everywhere.
Moving on to Section 2, Zero Barrier Anonymous Identity.
You might be wondering, how do you identify yourself if you aren't handing over your real name? Well, the onboarding is brilliantly simple. It asks for zero personal information. Literally, you just type in a creator name, any pseudonym you want. Then it asks if you want to protect the device. You click yes, and it instantly auto-generates a complex digital lock, specifically an ED25519 cryptographic key pair right in the background. Boom, you're done. No email confirmations, no text message codes, and zero government IDs.
So that resulting identity format becomes your absolute sole identifier across the entire system. It combines your pseudonym, an add symbol, and 8 characters from your public key, giving you something like Rivers at A3F7B2C9. And to make sure you never lose access, it gives you a 12-word recovery phrase. If your laptop completely crashes, you just type those 12 words into a new machine and your identity is totally restored. It mathematically secures your digital rights while giving you complete, bulletproof anonymity.
Section 3. The Universal Content Registry. Once your identity is good to go, how does the network actually know you created a piece of content first?
Enter the UCI, or Universal Content Identifier. Think of this as the mathematical linchpin of the entire operation. It's a globally unique fingerprint. It takes the actual content you created, mixes it with your exact creator ID, and slaps a timestamp on it. It crunches all that down into a self-verifying digital hash. This proves your ownership instantly. It basically means the exact same piece of content will always point straight back to you, no matter what random platform a thief posts it on.
And this whole anchoring process, it happens in actual milliseconds. When you finalize content, say saving an image or finishing a post, the UCI is computed entirely locally on your device. Your device then immediately broadcasts a registration package to the decentralized mesh network. The nearest node picks up that fingerprint and anchors it directly to the blockchain to permanently timestamp it. And remember, this entire background process is completely free for you, funded 100% by protocol donations and volunteer nodes.
Section 4. Automated detection and justice. Your content is fingerprinted. So what happens when a scalper actually tries to steal it?
The protocol steps in as your relentless digital bodyguard. It executes escalating levels of automated justice based on a simple sensitivity slider that you control entirely. You don't monitor the web, the ACE3 network does it for you. You can set the response matrix to low, which just logs the theft to a private watch list so you can keep tabs on them. Or you can push it all the way up to maximum, which essentially declares a digital war on the thief. It is a really bad day to be a content scalper.
Let's say you're on the default medium setting. The moment the protocol spots a high-confidence match of your stolen work out in the wild, it autonomously cascades through 3 immediate actions. First, it adds the scalper to a permanent public blacklist. Second, using API integrations, it will literally auto-reply to their stolen post with a public attribution notice, calling them out with rock-solid cryptographic proof. Third, it autonomously submits a copyright report straight to that platform's trust and safety team. It exposes the thief while you're literally asleep.
But what if you crank that slider all the way up to maximum? The software coordinates full-blown public relations and legal countermeasures. It blasts an immediate alert across the whole mesh network. It starts actively monitoring that specific scalper's accounts across other platforms to find out what else they've been stealing. It can even auto-generate a press release for tech journalists and escalate reports through automated back channels right to platform admins. It's an absolutely terrifying prospect for anyone trying to build a fake audience on stolen work.
Section 5. The permanent public blacklist. Because all of this automated justice, it needs to be permanently recorded. This setup ensures the evidence and the blacklist entries persist forever. The blacklist is stored dynamically on a public GitHub repo, distributed across IPFS, and permanently burned into the Arweave blockchain. There are no rate limits to access it, and no API keys required whatsoever. It means scalpers simply cannot wait out the record. And they can't issue a legal threat to some central company to take the database down, because there is no central company. The data just belongs to humanity.
And we aren't just talking about a simple list of names. Every single detection generates a completely immutable, machine-verifiable evidence package. This includes the cryptographic signatures from the network nodes that verified the theft, deep similarity scores that analyze the actual pixels or text, and precise temporal analysis proving exactly when the original was registered versus when the stolen version popped up. Any human or even an AI system can independently verify this entire package.
Now, false positives can happen, right? If a mistake is made, there's an autonomous dispute resolution process. Anyone can submit an appeal, but to stop trolls from spamming the system with fake appeals, there's a tiny challenge fee of 0.01 Ethereum. Submitting that triggers a 72-hour verification period, where 5 random, high-reputation mesh nodes review the counter-evidence and cast a vote. If the entry gets overturned, the fee is refunded and the record is wiped clean. If it's confirmed, the fee goes to the nodes. It relies purely on decentralized consensus to keep things fair.
Finally, Section 6, a decentralized public good. Let's wrap up by exploring how this incredible system sustains itself.
So how does a free system stay alive? ACE3 is brilliantly designed to be completely unprofitable decentralized. There's no corporate entity trying to monetize your data. It thrives entirely on social reward, volunteerism, and community funding. The development and blockchain anchoring costs are paid for by donations and grants from groups like the EFF and Creative Commons. The network is powered by volunteers donating their computing bandwidth. There's absolutely no venture capital, there will never be an IPO, and no tech giant can ever acquire it to shut it down.
The code itself is dedicated to the public domain under a CC0 license, totally free from copyrights or patents. But it also includes a really strict ethical use pledge. The creator's hard-coded conditions ensuring that while the tool is completely free, it can never be weaponized against the public. It expressly forbids any military use or deployment by surveillance states. At its core, it's a tool purely designed to defend individual creators. I absolutely love this profound thought from the specifications authors. The infinite tree belongs to those who tend it, not to those who strip its branches. It perfectly captures the defiant punk rock ethos of this whole project. It is a massive line drawn in the sand by creators who just refuse to be farmed for content by bad actors any longer.
Which leaves us with one absolutely critical, empowering question about the future of your digital creations. Are you ready to take just 60 seconds out of your day, install AC3, and autonomously protect your own branches? If you value your creative output, the tools to relentlessly defend it are finally here, completely free and waiting for you. Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and we will see you next time.